Recently, I chatted with a witch, and I was not disappointed. But I didn't chat with just any witch. I chatted with Patti Negri, psychic medium and good witch of Hollywood. Patty's probably best known for her reoccurring role on Travel Channel's #1 hit show, Ghost Adventures. She has also made several appearances as a guest on MasterChef, America's Got Talent, Wipeout, Jeff Lewis's Flipping Out, and many others. She is also an international bestseller of her book, Old World Magic for the Modern World, Tips, Tricks, and Techniques to Balance, Empower, and Create the Life That You Love. She also has a weekly podcast called The Witching Hour, which is absolutely fantastic. So I was delighted when she agreed to have a Zoom chat with me. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Patti Negri. So please enjoy my encounter of when I got to Zoom with a witch. Here's how it went. So share with people are probably wondering, so Patti's a witch. Yeah. What does that mean?
It can mean a lot of things. To say I'm a witch, it can mean it's your religion, like your belief system, like a pagan-oriented, goddess-oriented, like I'm Wiccan, or I'm ceremonial, or I'm chaos magician. So it could be your religion belief system, or it could be your practice. I practice witchcraft, which that to me means you are willing to take fate into your own hands and shift. You're not just going where wind blows and follow the sails and what people, the world tells you to do. You are directing it. There's a responsibility that goes with that, but it's beautiful. And it's learning to do that. It's like a shamanistic practice. I'm elemental in my work, much more than deity based. I work like Native Americans, very like any shamanic people, air and fire and water and earth. So I am both in belief system, religion, though I don't even like the word religion. I am pagan, I am a witch, and I can't even claim I am Wiccan, or I am so eclectic and out there. I draw from everybody and every religion for that matter. And practice. I am a practicing witch, which means I do magic. We create things, and you can do it ethically. I've never had a reason to do dark magic because you don't need to. Even like when you mentioned MasterChef and Wipeout and America's Got Talent, I got those being a good witch. I can hardly boil water, but I got on MasterChef. I'm not that athletic to get on Wipeout. Don't have any of the talents for America's Got Talent, but on each of those, I beat 80 to 100,000 people with positive magic. Yeah. And I wasn't out there, I hope that person breaks their leg, that dancer, or burns their chicken. Quite the opposite. I'm like, you do good and you do good. What you put out, you get back. That's it.
Yeah, you're the good witch, and you're empowering people, which I think that's the most magical thing that you can do for everybody else. And I think everybody has this inner power within them that they can use in their own ways. And it's good that you promote all this positivity, because you never know what you're capable of, or at least that's what I believe. And it's kind of a form of like manifesting. I'm a big believer in manifesting and, working towards goals as a, blossoming artist that started before COVID and then got shut down, and then now I have to like rebuild myself as a brand. But it's just kind of part of that, like setting goals and using the power that you have within you to guide you, I think. And
we are powerful. We are powerful beings. When working with people in my private practice, people give away their power all the time. They give away their power to other people. They give away their power to fear. They give away their power to limiting belief systems. You can't do that. You can't. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's so easy to just grab it back. Just grab it back. It's your power. We have free will. We were given free will by whoever, whatever, God, aliens, higher self, the gods. We have this free will, which makes us, we don't have to follow that exact path that whoever, whatever is put out for us. And that's the magic. So that makes us, we can do anything. We can. And I'm a big believer of that mind, body, spirit of psychology, that 20,000 books are written on it. Self-help books, psychology books, spirituality books, new age books, mind, body, spirit, mind. You'll never surpass your own belief system. Psychology. If you don't believe you can be a famous singer, you can't. But if you believe you can, you can. period. Then you have to do
I
the
love
work.
that.
Body means you have to do the work that goes with it. You have to sing, you have to record, you have to brand, you have to do everything. The spirit, which most people don't always get because it's less tangible, that's the magic that makes it happen, or the energy, or the faith. You could do that lots of ways. You could do that through your religion. I'm going to church to pray, or temple to pray, or you could do it New Age, affirmations, vision boards, manifestation. You could do it through the craft, candle working, herbs, oils. But if you have all three things, mind, body, spirit, you believe it, you deserve it, you can get it. Body, you're taking action, you got to get off the couch. And the spirit is that faith or magic, the battery that makes it go. You can get it. You could look at everything you've accomplished in your life so far, and the stuff you've had mind, body, spirit. The stuff you haven't quite accomplished, just see what you're missing. You don't either really believe it, you're not taking action, or you don't have that power, faith, spirit, magic behind it. And you get it and you tweak it. Unless you're breaking the law of physics, like, fly without an airplane or be a foot taller, you get it. The sky's the limit.
I love it. So all of these decades, like you said, of experience and coming up with all these wonderful like philosophies and just like ways of like practical magic that work for everybody. Like, is this something that, tell people about how you developed this? Was it something you think you were born? Were you born a witch, or was it something you developed? Like how did it all happen for you?
It's definitely in the blood, both on the psychic medium side. I was talking to dead people since I could talk, 3 or 4. I knew the so-called imaginary friends little kids have weren't imaginary. They were real spirits and beings I could talk to and give my parents real information. And it was never taught out of me. I think kids can see, but we're all told, we're so focused on that left brain laser beam, logic, that we got off balance. Like when they took art out of schools, math scores went down, but it didn't get taught out of me. And on the witchy side of things, I would find myself in my little suburban backyard just picking rosemary, communicate with rosemary and with mint, and knowing if I stuffed it in my mom's wallet, she would have more money. I hadn't read a book on that. I just knew it. She didn't quite get that all the time. And then years later, I'm studying, herbs and oils and apothecary, and that's what it does. And it's just in the blood. And again, just like animals have instincts and intuition, we do too. And it just, we've so taken the focus off us in our modern world.
I think that's so true. And as somebody that I like to share with like all of my audiences, how as a young kid, I was, of course, the creative, but I was the young kid that thought she was seeing fairies and thought that, she was a wizard or her friends were wizards. And, at the end of the day, like, I'm happy to admit I wasn't seeing things, not that some children, they might, and they do, such as yourself. But for me, it was an imaginary piece that I think at surface level may have been, okay, sure, I'm not seeing things, and I'm not a pirate, I'm not a wizard, and I'm not seeing fairies, but I believed it. And a part of that kind of, I think, went beyond surface level because of the fact that, as like you said, a child, we're open to that. And whatever we believe is kind of what we create. And that was the world that was around me. And I'm also so blessed. And I've been able to sit with my earlier child and have conversations and thank that person for doing everything that people used to think was crazy. And, maybe not having as many friends at certain points of my life because of the fact that if I didn't have that creativity and that imagination, I wouldn't be doing what I am today, which I'm very grateful for. And so I know there's a part of that like inner child in me that has never left. And I think that's a part of that brain and a part of that spirit that everybody has within them.
Completely. The fact that you saw the fairies and the wizards and the magic is why you allowed yourself to become an artist. That you got to become an artist. Again, we've taken the mystery and the mysticism out, the magic out, and that's the magic is what art is, what the creativity is, and it doesn't even matter if it's real or not. Religion did that to us. Like you've lost the message in the story, proving if the story is real or not. Like,
Yes.
was Moses real? It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's the message behind it.
Yeah.
Any of it.
And
Fairies,
even
real fairies, maybe. Fake fairies, maybe. Doesn't matter. The message is the fairies.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's so funny. I love talking to people about how, as someone who was raised in the church as well, I like the church was one of the most like mystical things that probably led me into doing and seeing and believing in all these things, because, you know, whatever religion it is, it's asking you to dive into this faith of believing in things that you cannot see, or believing in things that took place years ago, whether you believe that all of, like you said, the stories are completely down to the facts and how they happened. It's asking you to have faith in something and believe in things. And it's all of these like Catholic rituals or turning the water into wine. It's so much magic that I can't.
Complete magic.
I'm always like amazed. I'm always amazed by how many borders people will put up against like this kind of people who can't agree with these people, just because when at the end of the day, everybody's so similar and they're having faith in something. I think
the names have been changed to protect. Yeah, no, I study religion, philosophy, cosmologies, belief systems. And if you change what the words are, there's universal truths to all of them. They're all beautiful. It doesn't matter which one you pick. It's a roadmap. It's so you can navigate life, so you can navigate between life, other worlds, afterlife. My grandfather was a very famous psychoanalyst, very Freudian, a philosopher, hung out with a very Hollywood set, but this practically evangelical atheist, knew more about religion than almost anybody, but just didn't believe it. But I'm from the other door, that there's truth in all of it. But I read his books now, and it's like, oh, Grandpa, you believe the same thing as I do. You're just using science and academic and atheist words to sell the same story that I could do, either tell it using religious words or spirituality words or Christian words or pagan words. If you just, again, look below the thing. If we could just agree with what we agree on in everything, you know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so I think it's fun, you know, being able to bring a little bit of like Halloween awareness to the fact that there are witches out there, and there are people that are wizards and warlocks and vampires, and we're not all that different. We're not
at all. And at all. And what Halloween really is in the pagan, it's Samhain or Dia de los Muertos in the Mexican tradition, which isn't even, that's mixed in with their Catholicism, with their paganism, with their ancient native ways. It's because that's when the veil is thin at Halloween. That's why you would light your pumpkins and keep away, because you could see the spirits, good and bad, the scary ones. That's why you put on costumes. And then we've turned it, even our holidays are ridiculously the same. What, you know, a pagan or a witch would call Yule, and it's about, trees and logs and red and green. Sound familiar? It's just like Christmas. It's the same. Ostara, we have Ostara. It's about eggs and fertility and bunnies and spring flowers. Oh wait, that's just like Easter. Oh wait, that's just like, come on guys, start with what's the same. It's all the same.
I agree. I super love it. And I love your beginnings. I love that you had that spark of something that's a little extra as being a young child. And I love that you've stuck with it, and that's so special. So I think I'd love to move on to this next part of our little chat, where Patti has agreed to give me a reading because you're psychic and you're a medium, and that's so amazing. I've never had this done, so it's probably a little obvious. I'm not nervous, I don't think, but I'm definitely excited to see how this is going to go.
It's okay. I have safe readings. Well, it is scary because there's so many really not good psychics, mediums, scam artists. This is the scammiest business you could ever be in. And just know that, just trust your intuition on this. And if anybody tries to control you by fear tactics, upsell, anger, control, walk away. That's it. You don't have a curse attached, I promise. There's no family thing that you have to give them extra money to go buy the candle that they take to church to get rid of it. It's like, I was president of the
Yeah.
American Federation of Certified Psychics, and I mean, still every day I get there's fake me's on social media every day that are contacting people and saying I want to offer you a reading. Like, I don't solicit. Anyway, but I'm my witch trumps my psychic in the fact that I will never say a thing is going to happen because we have free will. We have free will. Like, I could tell you, oh, wow, when you walk outside, a bird is going to poop on your head. I am such a good psychic. I know when you're going to walk out. I know when the bird's going to fly over. I know when the bird's going to poop. But that's I've just taken away your power that you're going to walk outside, forget I said it, and the bird's going to poop on your head. And instead, if I go, be careful walking outside, go out the back door today, put up an umbrella, wear that hat, and guess what? The bird doesn't. You don't get hit by a truck. You don't have that. It shows path, probable paths. Nothing's written in stone, because the most magical thing about us is this free will we were given. It's like, change.
I love that.
Yeah. So, all right. So what?
Yeah.
So what do you want to focus on? Anything specific, like career, love, life, health, every little bit of everything?
I think, is it too messy to do whatever is the strongest, that feels the strongest? Because I never know, like what to expect, but I feel like there's pent up Jada, right? And I don't know how it works, if it's like, some people will say that different mediums will like feed off of energy, or it's picking up of energy, or some people are saying, the power comes from somewhere else. It's a message that's relayed through a medium, and so I think it's whatever would be strongest.
Well, the difference, okay, a psychic, you see past, present, future, or probable, possible, the paths of the future, and then you do with what you want. Medium means you talk to the other side, that whether it's do the beloved deads and all that. But what I see for you, you are definitively at a crossroads, girl. You are definitively at a really good crossroads. You are stepping into your power. You have an amazing heart. Trust your heart, and jump in. I mean, like, literally, my favorite is dive in the pool. It's not test the water with your big toe. Is it too hot or too cold? And you're doing that. I mean, you're making music, but you're doing everything. But you overthink a lot. You chatter a little bit. Whether that's second guessing, and that do those little 30-second exercises in my book, the 30 seconds, the breathing thing. Because I think that you're a healthy, beautiful young woman, and you breathe right because you're a singer, but do you catch yourself holding your breath sometimes a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do. I think that's and I'm not, afraid to share this with you at all, or anybody, but I think one of the biggest things for me is like, it's always, how am I going to come across? And it's overthinking before just letting things happening, and holding my breath for that matter, to wait for the right moment, or in case something wrong is going to happen. And I think, and that's relatable for a lot of people, but I think that's completely true. I'm known to have to breathe. My Apple Watch is always telling me to breathe.
Is it? Yeah. And I see that. And that will cause the chatty base, like a chain reaction, like dominoes. So you breathe. And also, some of your fear of like jumping in or dial. Well, you do audio engineering. I'm all that 0 to 10, 0 to 10. You're too young for Spinal Tap, but that you're a dial it up girl. You have it dialed up, but a couple little areas you have it dialed down just a little bit. Like say that thing. How is it going to be taken across? Or then I'll dial it up. Crank it up to 11. Crank it up to 11 at this crossroad you are, and you're just gonna fly. And some of the holding your breath, the slight insecurity, there's not 7. Do you remember something that upset you when you were about 7 plus or minus a year? Did you move or have a change of family dynamics or something like that? Or
yeah, I mean, 100%. Oh, I just saw something. That's so funny. Yeah, that was the first time I went through a death, actually, around that age, just a family death.
Okay. So somewhere in that, maybe your little girl got a fear or a this or a look at death or something like that. But that is where you put a little shield, right? That's the holding of the breath. That's where that comes from. So this is what I'm telling you. I'm giving you homework. This is my favorite thing to give everybody. Do you have a bathtub, access to a bathtub?
I do.
Okay. So get a candle, preferably a white candle, but any candle. You're going to light a candle. In the bath is in my book, but not what I'm telling you to do in it. Throw in a handful of salt for cleansing, a handful of sugar for sweetness, and a cup of milk for nurturing. Salt, sugar, milk. Old-fashioned Southern conjure root magic white bath, or a version of it. You shut down your chatty brain. Don't worry. What if I'm not remembering correctly? Doesn't matter. Again, truth or not, doesn't matter. If I'm exaggerating, doesn't matter. Get naked, of course. That's how you get in the bath. This is inner child work. Get in the bath, hot bath. You'll feel like Cheerios, but you could rinse off afterwards. Salt, sugar, milk. But just for a second, you as a grown woman, a young woman, look back at that right around 7. You'll know what it is. Just for a minute, just like you just did. Now but just for a minute, because that memory isn't that important, because that memory is going to be colored by your life since then, all your life experiences, your education, and more than anything else, your maturity. Then put 7-year-old little Jada right in the bathroom with you. And you're an artist, you can create, but there she is, 7-year-old Jada sitting right in front of you. And then don't remember anything. Listen to her. Let 7-year-old Jada tell you the thoughts about somebody, family dying, and something she said or didn't say, or you and your thoughts on everything. And most of what she says, you're going to kind of go in her 7-year-old understanding level, upset level, and more than anything, maturity level. Because we know psychology, again, will even tell us how many of our life parameters we set up at young ages, our belief systems, our fears, good, bad, and indifferent, really young, which we all do. And you're going to hear things that, yeah, that's why I this and don't like that. But a couple things that she says you're not aware of because they're not logical. You don't have to be logical at 7 when you're upset or confused. And you are logical. You go to that, for all your beautiful creativity, you actually dance nicely between your right brain and left brain, between your artist and your art and education. It's like that intuition and intelligence, knowledge versus knowing. But you are logical. So if your little girl comes up with something illogical, it's not going to compute. You're just going to, because all it is, you have to hear it in her voice, but all it is a false self-limiting belief system. That's it. A false self-limiting belief system that you're not aware of because it's not logical enough for grown-up Jada to understand. But that's when you're going to, don't get it, hold your breath, dial it down. And again, the little domino. So let her know what a gorgeous young woman she grew up into, that you are an artist, that you are following your passion, you have records and dreams and paranormal, all this stuff. She doesn't know that. And the ghosts aren't scary and dead people are fine. Whatever she needs to know, it really is. And then when she creeps in now and again, you're going to go, oh, remember, you got that wrong. It's okay. It's inner child work. You could go to a therapist and spend a whole year talking to your inner child, or you can get in one goofy witch bath and have your inner child talk to you and go, got it. Okay, I could let go of that little false self-limiting belief system. And you're going to come out, because you're mostly out there, but you have one little area that your head gets in your way. And as you let go of that, you're going to totally step into your strength. Who you are literally is stellar. I am going to use, besides you are talented, you are high vibration, you're super sensitive, super sensorial, all your senses, right? Smells, right? Sound, obviously, music, touch are heightened. We all are affected by it, but you super are. So use that to your advantage, like from what color panties you put on make a difference. They do.
I love that.
They do. Super important, always wear dark blue, navy blue panties. It's a high vibration color, and you're putting it on those low vibration chakras, the reds and orange. Anyway, but you who you are is stellar. And I'm going to use words like talent, integrity, virtue, ethics, moral code. And that's going to see you through. People are going to see that in you, especially when you take that little tiny little bit of protection thing off, that that little 7-year-old and step into it. And you're going to totally step into your strength. And as you do, again, you have fun with it now. That's obvious. You have fun. You have a lot of fairy energy, but you'll even get to have more fun and have more success. The more fun you have, the more success you have, the more success you have, the more fun you have. And the more you're being that authentic you're going to step into it and dance. You dance nicely between the brains. And you visualize how you manifest. Yes, logic will always be there, but that's not, you don't have to think about, logic will just be there. Like 1 + 1 = 2. I need to have a social media presence. I need to make music. That's going to be given. How you really manifest is when you see it, when you smell it, when you taste it, is when you get it. So versus, okay, I have $3 to buy this pen. That's a given. You have to have $3 to buy this pen, but you go, I see myself with this funny pin with a little pink diamond on it. Then you manifest it. So do that with your career, just like with that mind, body, spirit thing. Go big. When it's like driving a car. If you don't know where you're going, or you're not clear where you're going, I'm going to a theme park maybe, and the windows are dirty, and I'm going to Disneyland, and you clean the windows and you get there. So the detail in your thought, and how it feels, and how it tastes, and how it smells to wake up in the morning and have, a hit wreck or whatever that is to you. That's how you get it.
Can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
So then there's detail in so much of everything that's visualized, like down to the deja vu, right? Of things that, I'm lots of deja vu, where it's, I've been here before, I've done this before, and it's me trying to catch the details that I dream about. Or when I write music, a lot of the times and I've shared this with other people too, it's like I wake up in the middle of the night because there's a song suddenly in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's not a song, I just came up with that. That's not a song that already exists. It's this thing that I have to now get up out of bed, and I have to go write down, I have to go write it. And then that's how it happens. Or I have a dream of something that's gonna happen, and then a couple months later, then that's where I find myself, and I'm like, oh, I've been here, where am I? It was in my dream. Or are those the details that maybe
that's part of it. It's all part of it. Again, the sensorial part of it, the details, and the deja vu, the dream. There is no time and space on the other side of the veil, on the other side. So if you're going into past and you're going into future, that's what you do as a psychic and medium too. You're seeing through it. And it's hard for our little human brains, because we've created that time and space line for us to do, but you have done it before. You've already written the song. You've already done this. It all combines together. So again, it's just that faith and the trust of it. It could be lifetimes, future, past, all that mushed together, because you are super, super intuitive. You're super gifted. So,
wow. Well, cool.
Which will just, again, and that adds to the artist part. The artist part adds to that. It's a dance. It's all a dance.
I love that. Well, thank you. Again, I don't know. That was like wonderful. And it is like, it's like little almost thoughts that that get pulled to the forefront, like all of those little things that connect. And that makes a lot of sense, I think. So ttk you, Patti.
You are welcome. And no, you are a manifester. You're talking about manifesting. You are a manifester. You know that. So, you're a magician, not like rabbit out of the hat magician, but let's step into, and know that you could learn that too if you want. But it's just letting go of a few little limitations that are there, and you're going to fly and jump in. You don't want to stay at the crossroads too long. It's kind of like standing in the hall with the door hitting you in the bed. And don't be afraid of making decisions. I think you're a pretty good decision maker, but when you're not sure about a decision, just like I said, jump in. Yes, you need that focus of what you're doing, but you have a windy road. It's not, you don't always have to take the do this or do that because you want to go on the left road for a while, and you go, but that looks good, then I'm gonna take the right road. It's a wide road. It's the pretty road. Who says you have to get on the freeway all the time? Because you're moving fast with it anyway, and you're gonna. So don't be afraid of making wrong decisions. The only wrong decision would be to not make a decision because you don't know what decision to make. You do know what to make. Trust it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. I think that's something that everybody can take a little piece of away too, because I'm sure I'm not completely alone. Doing that.
We humans have some similarities and synchronicities and quabbles and foibles and things. Also, you have some really nice guides. I don't know if you've worked with them at all. You do have some very ethereal, angelic type guides that you sometimes feel pushed along sometimes, almost like this little entourage behind you. And you have maybe it's little bugs rolling around, but whether you have orbs or bugs or something just flying beautifully, it's kind of magical. You also have a lot of fairy energy, so feed that fairy energy. And that's where you're going to see the sparkles, whether they're little bugs or fairies or just energy. And fairy energy will bring you a lot more magic, especially in music.
When it comes to guides, then, because it's something that I think that's one of been like the biggest doors as far as like mental and spiritual that I've been trying to break down for years. It's like I know that when I follow whatever I think I need to do, I wait for things to come to me, which isn't always driving, like you said, but it's at some points it feels like I'm told what to look out for, as in little signs or like in numbers and things like that. And I'm always wondering, I'm like, is there like, there has to be something like that, that's something to it. Like, I'm not getting this from anywhere else. And I've been diving into the realization that I had an experience which had never ever happened to me before, where I sat down and I was in kind of this meditative state at the piano. And this was, I think, I can't even pin down when it was, but within the last few years, where I sat down and I asked for some sort of higher power or something that I couldn't see, or some sort of guide. I think at the time I was asking for guides specifically to let me know, like, I'm about to move and I'm about to end college and I'm about to move to Minneapolis. Like, what do I need to be looking out for? Is there something that you can tell me that when I see it, that's what I have to pay attention to? And of course I've been diving into it, like I said, but there was this, what I didn't know at the time, just a thought, just a name that popped into my head that I won't share, but it was a name that popped into my head, a first name and a last name. And then I found myself, like I said, I think it was like 1.5 to 2 years later, rushing over, because I think that day I left the piano and I was like, oh, that was silly, like whatever. And then I ended up here in the cities at a job at a recording studio. And then a name was, I guess, just in daily, it came through. There was a name and I didn't think anything of it because it didn't like ring a bell or anything else. Like, I don't know that person. And then I had a nudge from somebody that I work with who was like, no, look up this name. And when I looked it up, that's when it clicked, because there was a picture and a biography of this person who is a significant person in the industry, that when I was sitting there that day 2 years ago or so at the piano, I had to look up the name and be like, well, who is this name that just popped into my head? And it was that same person. And I thought, what are the odds that I did that? It's not me. Like, I was like, I feel I'm not, I didn't do that. So it was like, am I picking up on some sort of message, or is it something that like clairaudience, where it's a thought that pops in that I'm hearing, not verbally, but that is told to me? And
yes,
I don't know
all
if
of
that
the
has
above.
anything to do with
Yes,
it.
all of the above. And I just love it. The orbs that are going through your space, whatever they are fabulous. Because for a while they were all going this direction, and now they're going this direction. Everybody will see it. It's great. Yes, all of the above. That is all true. And yes, that's the whispers we listen to from spirit, from God, from guides. It's all out there. Is it the Akashic record? Yes. Is it this great consciousness? Yes. Yes. It's there. If we just have to listen and then step in. If this person is a living person, find them. If this is a deceased person, maybe they're there to help you.
So what do you like suggest? I think in connecting with guides, what do you usually tell people when it comes to, do you believe in finding the names of your guides or being able to,
some people
relationships,
that's important too. Since I'm more of an energy person, it doesn't matter. I'm like, come on, everybody, the energy, they're created. It doesn't need to be Bob. We have I teach this stuff. We have 5 kind of guides. We have our inner band guides, which are pretty much with us from the day we were born, almost like a guardian angel, whether they're an angel or not, the inner band. We have an outer band guard, which they're the ones who show up in times of need, whether it's trauma or special need, that these guides. We have our ascended masters. So there's Jesus, there's a Buddha and all that. We have our animal guides, whether it's your animal loved familiar or it's your native totem, like I'm polar bear, I am wolf, I am coyote. And then we have the angelic guide itself. So, and they come and they go and they're part of our entourage. You have, again, you have a lot because they come and go, but you have like this little, they stand behind you and they push. You're going to feel it if you haven't already. You have a definitive strong woman and you have a definitive strong man that were humans. They were humans, whether relatives of yours or somebody from the industry of yours.
Wow. That's special.
Yeah, you do. You have the woman really, really, really creative, but had the strength to get somewhere in life, you know. And the guy is a business guy who gets you. He gets you on that too. So they're there. So they are your like those human-y guys that are there with you now, whether they've always been there. Again, I'm getting very, very ethereal, almost angelic, like pushing you. They're just taking form. They don't even have to take form. They're just this energy force that's going, okay, Jada, do this. And they're coming in a thought pattern and this and that. Do you sometimes feel like a tickle around your ear, like somebody's playing with your hair, your ear? Have you felt
Yeah. That was something that developed a little bit ago. It's more of a pressure behind my ear, and that kind of like draws me, I think, in directions.
Yeah. That's one of your guides.
Hmm.
So listen to it. You can say, I don't want pain or I don't want pressure. This area through here is our crown of illumination. Our 5 regular senses are here: smell, taste, all those 5. And our 6th sense, our 3rd eye, is right here. Right where our head and neck come together, the base of the spine, that's the largest portal on our body. That's why we bow our head when we pray, to open that up for God, for spirit. But you see, you know, the old-fashioned picture like angels with halos or the glow around holy people. This is that. And they're playing with you right now to pay attention, whether they're pulling your hair, pressure on your ear, look left or look right. It doesn't have to be literally, figuratively, but that they are talking to you like that, definitively.
Magical.
Yeah, it's very magical. So again, you can figure out their names, ask them if they have names or not, and trust it. That dream school thing, that would work for that. The water by the bed in the book would help with that, or a meditation program, or getting out. Nature, a lot of, if you don't get, I don't know if you get out in nature or not, that's going to feed you very much. So
not as much as I should, for sure.
Yeah.
Locked behind a computer a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I know, but you know, get out there, even if it's 10 minutes. It's like feeding your spirit. Again, you could invite some more fairies in and they'll like it.
Oh, I love that.
They'll bring you that much more joy. Yeah. Because you do have some elemental guides, definitely.
I definitely believe that, for sure. You're picking up everything I was picking up, at least from whatever I can pick up. So that's special. And
you have something, again, really new coming in. It's probably your new release that you're doing right now, but it's time. It's time for it to happen. It's like, it's going to feel like fruits of your labor, just desserts, about time you put it all together and just allow it to be easy. Okay. Yes, we know it's a lot of hard work. Yes, it's not like, oh, it just snap your fingers and that's all fine, but just allow it to flow. And I think flow.
Wonderful. I heard it loud and clear. So I'll be doing that for sure. Yay. So thank you, Patti. I'd love to close by, I guess, just chatting on something that people can take away. We've got about like 10-15 minutes left. Thank you again so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you've got more you get to do tonight. Super exciting. So what is some like Halloween magic or some spells that anybody could grasp onto or that you'd like to share?
again, see, going back to that mind, body, spirit thing that's in self-help books and psychology books, in magic and spell working, it's the same thing is done as creation, working, dispatch. There's no wrong or right way to do something. Creation is like, oh, I'm going to do a love spell. So I'm going to do it on Friday because that's the day of Venus. Maybe roses are love. I'm going to put some rose petals in a bath. Or I'm going to light a pink candle means love. Red, come up with it. Mind, that's the mind. That's the creation. Body is you are sitting there carving the candle or stirring and some mugwort into it. And the mind, body, the spirit is your charge. There you're drumming, you're dancing, you're sending it off to the heavens. So it's the same thing. So look at what you want in your life and then figure out how you shift to get it. Again, money spell. I have this really simple one. It's like you're burning $1 bill and you're writing down everything you want, then you believe it and you're passionate about it and you're going to burn it up and send it up to the heavens. Every time I've done it for decades, it's worked. Everybody who works. And you're putting your passion into it. You're giving them this $1 bill. Now, if you don't believe it's going to work, guess what? It won't. And if you think like I could be a billionaire, then you write billionaire on there. But if you're not sure you can, start out with $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. Again, don't pass your belief system. That's what they say in magic. The earth is grounding and sturdiness and who you are, your persona and your home, your fires, your passion, creativity, love, sex, art, spirituality. Water is our emotions. It's the flow. Air is our thought pattern, focus, clarity. So if you're going, what do I need? I need some grounding in my life. I want to create this nice new apartment or home for whatever that is. I'm going to put some salt in there. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So long as you're not controlling anybody else. Okay, I need some fire. I need some more passion there. I'm going to light a candle. Great. Some incense, which goes into the air and all that, whatever. So you're creating this magic, mind, body, spirit, or creation, working, dispatch. No right or wrong. If, as a rule, yes, pink means love, red means passion, but if deep purple means love, passion, you use what's right for you. Start trusting your own intuition. And remember, whatever you put out, you get back. In the law of three, it's whatever you put out, you get back 3 times. So in that, so it's like, I'm going to know that why you're going to put out negativity, put out all positivity, and that's what you'll get back. Create your career, create your love life, create your money, create your happiness, create your new friend, new joy, new place to live. And you can. And then there's a nice little saying, if you want a nice little spell, rhyming is very important. It's good. You don't have to do it, but every sound we make has an effect on us. Every sound. I do a lot of Egyptian magic. It's called Heka work. Without giving every vowel, every consonant, but without giving you a lesson that the easiness, vowels open up this thought process. Think about it. Every sacred word is a vowel. Amen. Om. Native American, East Indian, yeah. So again, you might want to add sound, song, chant. So again, a nice way to end, a very classic way to end. You're creating your own little spell for whatever it is. You're just controlling you. You're not hurting anyone else. You're adding whatever feels right to you. You might end it. And by the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound round shall be. As I do will it, so shall it be. It's great. By the power of 3 times 3 means what you put out, you get back 3 times. Put out abundance, put out joy. By the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound round shall be. It means you're binding this spell of love, or whatever, binding it within to create the spell bound round shall be. As I do will it, so shall it be. It's great. So, or make up your own little thing. And you will be surprised the magic you could do with one little birthday candle if you need to, and put magic into everything you do, guys. If you're stirring your coffee in the morning, put love into it. If your kid's oatmeal, your own oatmeal, put love. And the last thing for magic is for everybody above the equator. Anything you want to add, go clockwise. It's magnetics. It's always been witchy and magical. It's called sunwise versus reverse is starwise. If you're clearing the energy of your house, when you're clearing, go counterclockwise. You want to get stressed, go counterclockwise, stirring your coffee. I'm releasing. You're doing your, Palo Santo around the house. And then you add going clockwise. So just put that into everything, whether you're, vacuuming around your dining room table. Clockwise, everything above the equator. Clockwise, you're adding. Counterclockwise, you're releasing. That little bit of magic, you can create the world, your world.
I love it. Thank you, Patti. It's anything, anybody can do it. It's like your power, using your power in whatever words you use. And I definitely will rhyme, since I like words and I like how they sound as a writer. So I love that. But you don't have to if you're not a writer. So
no have to.
So wonderful. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Patti. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining me for this casual, just little fun moment where we get to chat and share all of the magical secrets of the universe, I guess. So thank you so much. And would you like to plug anything else that you're doing, or just share with what you're up to? Anything to
Sure. If you're interested, my website's pattinegri.com, pattinegri.com. I have a school called University Magicus where I teach this stuff it's online, it's inexpensive, it's Zoom classes. I just taught animal familiars yesterday. I'm teaching kitchen magic next Tuesday. I teach spell working, psychic development, University Magicus, magickus.com. Paraflix, I'm a partner in Paraflix, of which you're a part of. Paraflix, it's like Netflix, but all paranormal. So I've got appearances pretty much every weekend forever. So check it out. All the social medias, Patti Negri Psychic Medium on Facebook, Patti.Negri on Instagram, not the dash, not all the fake ones, and on Twitter. So all the usual places, but bathroom walls across America. No, just no. All right. And my book, my book you can get on my website or on Amazon.
Oh, lovely. It's a great book, super easy to read. I love it. It gives you everything that you need. But yeah, it's wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me. Go check out Patti Negri, everyone. And I guess we'll move on to our next segment of the night. So thank you. Happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween and all the best. You're going to fly to the moon.